He chose you, okay? He chose you to be a mom. Do you want to know why? Because he knew that you could handle it. Blessings all for my life. My thank God for the journey, the earnings, and that's for the plus. Gratitude is a must. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am Anissa Joy. If you're new here, I'm so happy you decided to join us. This video has been sitting on me for a little while and God gave me the go ahead to do it. So just a little backstory. I am not somebody who just became a mom yesterday. I've been a mom for almost 3 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about because no way my kid's about to be 3. God has given me so much wisdom and insight, and he has really opened my eyes to how to really thrive in motherhood in the first 3 years. And even though I only have 1 kid, okay, so maybe it gets a little bit harder with 2, but for now I am in a really good space mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and it's been a long time coming. I done been through it. I have been through it these past 3 years, and if I can just have one mom navigate her way a little bit better, a little bit softer, and not have to bump her head as much as I did or cry as much as I did, then I will be very satisfied. Let's just jump right into it. The first lesson that I've learned in motherhood is to slow down. Slow down. Like, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? You do not need $1 million by tomorrow. You don't, and you know you don't. How I learned this, honestly, I bumped my head. I bumped it hard. Like, I would be like, first it would be small ways that I learned this. Small things like me trying to rush with a baby or a toddler. Underestimating how much time it really took to do something. Like, my expectations were this high and the reality was not there. Like, there was a huge gap. So slowing down really gave me time to just feel, to embrace. And not only that, we're women, okay? We were not created to rush. Like, when I think of Eve in the garden, walking in the cool of the day, she is relaxing. She has long hair, you know, time is passing and she is relaxed. Okay, sometimes as women we can have this tick tock in our head, whether it comes to fertility, infertility, career aspirations, a husband. We just have this all spiraling in our head. I have to do this, I have to do that, and you don't. Okay, everything is going to fall in place at the right time. You're going to get through this season at the right time. Just slow down and surrender to where you are. And I remember it was my sister, honestly, who made me realize this. She said, I asked her, I went to drop her off at the airport one time. I said, why do you get here like 8 hours before the flight? She said, I don't like to rush. I don't like the way that it feels in my body when I rush. The second thing that I've learned is that systems and routines will save you. So when I had Z, I was 20. Dang. When I had Z, I was 20 years old and I knew nothing about discipline, consistency, rhythms, like nothing. I went where I want, did what I want, when I want it, how I want it, with who I want it. It was just very free. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go find something to do. Like, I did what I wanted. And even then, nothing against my mother, how she raised us, but I did not have a childhood with the consistency of structure. So there was no bedtime, there was no nighttime routine. Of course I knew, like, take a bath, but it was kind of freeing when I wanted. So that really did me a great injustice when I became a mom, because now I have a baby, and as much as I wanted to put him on a schedule and a routine, I never could, and I would just feel so frustrated. Okay, I would look at all these moms on Instagram and YouTube, and they're like, oh yeah, bath at 7, bed at 8, and I'm like, how in the freak are y'all doing that? Like, who taught y'all? Who show me them? Where's the book? Where's the manual? How are y'all doing that? So finally It took me a while, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. But the earlier you find your rhythm, okay, and I'm gonna encourage it to be your own, find your baby's rhythm. Find out what works for you in your household, in your family, and make that work. And one thing I will definitely tell you is that babies thrive on consistency. They thrive on schedule. They thrive with a routine. Okay, even as a human, you don't want just things thrown at you and you're like, dang, I didn't even know that I was about to, like, you don't want that. And even once you navigate into the toddler stage, when you begin to learn that you have to kind of warn your toddler or give them a kind of, hey, just letting you know, out of courtesy to them, okay, because they run the show, guys, seriously. Out of courtesy to them, you kind of just let them know, like, hey, we're eating right now, but we're getting ready to take a bath, and then after we take a bath, we're going to bed. You let them know. So it's like, okay, cool, I'm eating, now I know what to expect. After I finish eating, I know that my mommy's going to tell me that it's time to take a bath, and after I take a bath, I already know. So it's like that. And with that rhythm, what I've learned with my son is that the more that he was on a rhythm, the better I was with my rhythm, and things just began to flow for me. I knew what to expect, and it's really discipline, routine, and structure is the biggest form of self-care and the biggest way to say I love you. When you have a system and you have a routine, you're helping yourself in the long run. Even when it comes to like a strict bedtime or a strict wake up time for yourself or your baby, those things are really, really, really big game changers. The third thing that I've learned in motherhood is to put yourself first. This is kind of controversial because, you know, the baby and blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you're not okay, the baby's not okay. It's just that simple. You keep neglecting yourself, not giving yourself time to be away from the baby. You're not giving yourself time to pour into yourself. You're pouring from an empty cup. Now you're burnt out. Now we're dealing with postpartum depression. Now we're anxious. Like, no, put yourself first. And one way that I learned this is when I had to really navigate getting myself ready and my son ready at the same time, wherever we had to go. I was like, dang, okay, let me get Z ready. That way he's out the way, whatever, whatever. Especially when I was breastfeeding, and I breastfed for 2 years exclusively. That I had to put that up there, okay? I had to put that up there. So what I realized that when I would get him dressed first, it just didn't flow. Like, especially when they're a baby and you get them dressed and you give them milk and now they're asleep. That would have been much better if they were asleep in the car and not on me. Now I don't feel like getting up. Now I don't want to go nowhere. Get yourself ready first. Put yourself first in that way, okay? Wake up early. Put yourself first. Take inventory of yourself before you start pouring into the baby. Even if it's just 10-15 minutes to just wake up and be a human before you have to be a mom. Because being a mom is a responsibility. Being a mom is not your identity, okay? It is something that you do. It is someone that you are to someone else. But like, being a daughter is not my entire identity. It's just my affiliation. Like me, Anais as a mom versus Anais as a person. Anais as a mom shows up differently from Anais as a person. I need me, okay? The baby might need me too, but I need me. I need me more than the baby need me. Because the baby's going to get older and the baby's going to go on by itself. You're going to end up you're done with your baby and you're going to be like, dang, I don't even know who I am when I'm not taking care of a baby. And we should not be having identity crisis. No. Absolutely not. Put yourself first. Eat first. Bathe first. Okay? Small things. It doesn't have to be like, oh no, I'm putting myself first. Like, no, you don't have to be arrogant and cocky and prideful when you do it. Just, I'm putting myself first. And the small way that you are communicating to yourself that, hey, I know that we're pouring out a lot right now, but I still love you. I still see you. I see what you're doing. I still care about you. I care about how you look. I care about what you're presenting and how you're presenting yourself to the world. That's very important in motherhood. Very. Especially after you've just had a baby and you don't recognize yourself. You don't feel yourself in your body. You don't know who is staring back at you. Like, we have to find ourselves again in motherhood. And that is a lot within itself. I'm going to just leave that there. The fourth thing that I learned in motherhood is to let people help you. Learn to, like, Learn to delegate. Learn to hand that baby off. I know that's your baby and you want to be super selfish and you want to be very me, mine. But motherhood is a heavy weight. Okay? It's all day. There's no days off. You don't get a break. Learn to let people help you. Okay? I'm not saying to let someone who has trash talked you and belittled you, and I'm not saying that, although I will recommend that you forgive. I'm not saying to give your baby to someone that you don't trust. What I'm saying is let people show up for you. I think a lot of times we can say, oh, I'm a mom, I don't have any friends, I don't have any community. Okay, but what role did you play in that? Were you vocal? Did someone ask you, hey, are you okay? And you just like, yeah, I'm okay. Were you choosing to not be transparent, to not be vulnerable? Did you push that person away? Right. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So begin to be open and honest, or challenge yourself. Hey, even if it's just reaching out to your mom or your grandma or your sister or your friend, hey, I am not okay right now. And I would just greatly appreciate if you could just watch the baby for like 2 hours. I need me. I need me. Okay? And even if you're at home and you're overwhelmed, because I know I definitely was when I was still pregnant, and I was like, dang, I'm going to be a mom. I have to pump, I have to cook, I have to clean. Delegate. Delegate. Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to have to juggle both, because you will, and it will make you more confident in your ability to mother, but sometimes it is a lot. I used to cry and cook all the time. Cry, cook, and clean. Okay, the next lesson that I've learned is to rely on God. The quicker you learn to rely on God in pregnancy, labor, postpartum, whatever, the quicker your life will be. God is our comforter. He's our refuge. He is our protection. He is our guide. He is our father. I learned that I could not be a good parent without God. I knew that I could not handle my emotions without him. I could not navigate major decisions without him. I just didn't feel, not that I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't trust myself. It's just that if God is all-knowing and he is wise, then why use my own wisdom? And the Bible says, lean not on your own understanding. So clearly, I'm not wise. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. So the quicker you come to this realization that, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this by myself. Quite frankly, I can't. I don't have it. The quicker you'll be able to lean more into God, and you begin to trust him, and you begin to rely on him in this very, very, very crucial stage of your life. Going through motherhood without God should almost be illegal. I'm gonna be real. It should not be allowed. And if you see somebody, or if you know a mom who is just navigating it on her own, pray for her. Really begin to pray that she will begin to yearn and thirst for God's comfort, his wisdom, his guidance. Like, it's very important, especially when you're navigating really, really, really difficult emotions, and whether it be rage, anxiety, fear. Listen, God got something to say about all that. The sixth lesson that I've learned is that motherhood is hard, but it is not miserable. So I believe that in motherhood, we just kind of say, you know what? Yeah, I don't have to be okay. There doesn't have to be joy. I can be sad. I don't know like, all these things can be true, but they don't have to be normalized in the way that we speak, in the way that we interact, in the way that we live our lives in motherhood. We can still make room to experience joy and fulfillment and peace and love in our day-to-day. Okay, I did battle with postpartum depression, not knowing it. So what I mean by that is, like, a lot of times in motherhood, we have this in our routine, we don't switch anything up. Now, I did speak on schedules and routines earlier, and those things are great. I believe that we should have set times that we do things just for sanity and peace of mind, but that doesn't mean that we're rigid in our routine. So if I know, for example, that Z's nap time is from 12 to 2, then from 12 to 2, I will let him nap. But from 2 to 5, when that next wake window comes, when he was a baby. Maybe instead of staying in the house that whole time and committing myself to cleaning and doing dishes or whatever, I just choose to remove myself from the house and go outside or go to the mall or do something that brings me joy, that brings me fulfillment. And it doesn't have to be always this burden of like, dang, I gotta pack the bag, I gotta do this. Like, sometimes just be free. Just take 2 diapers, wipes, and a bag of snacks and just go. You know, don't weigh yourself down with your responsibility just because it's there. It's not going anywhere. You're going to be a mom for the rest of your life. Are you going to be miserable the rest of your life? No, you're going to learn to dance and sway with it. So the earlier you learn to do that, the better. Motherhood is not just you signing your life away and there's no more joy, there's no more love, there's no more laughter. Like, the only time you laugh is with your baby. No, you're a human. You need your own memories. You need your own, community. You need that. You need moments for yourself to just be fulfilled. The last thing that I've learned in motherhood is that you are more than capable, okay? God chose you to be a mom. He chose you to carry that child. He opened your womb. He let the seed get fertilized. He kept the baby in the womb. He made sure the baby had 10 fingers and 10 toes and 2 eyes and the nerves are connected. He chose you, okay? He chose you to be a mom. Do you want to know why? Because he knew that you could handle it. But sometimes handling it is only with his support. So if you feel incapable, if you feel inadequate, the reality is that you are. Because his strength is made perfect in our weakness. So admit what you're not capable of doing. Admit that you can't. Admit that it's hard. But understanding that God chose you because you can do it with his help. It is possible. In the real reality, in the realm of where God is, you're doing it. Ask him how. Ask him for that wisdom. Back to James 1, where we ask God for wisdom. We rely on him. We rely on his guidance. You can do this. You can push that baby out. You can parent well. You know how to listen to your intuition. You know how to listen to your gut. You know how to be wise and you know how to bring love and laughter into the home. You know how to steward this baby. You know how to do it. So don't get weighed down in the highs and lows and the oohs and ahs of life and all that happens. Stay focused. Stay clear. Know yourself. Know what it takes for you to be okay. And do that. Love yourself in the midst of it. You can't just keep pouring. It's not possible. You're going to get burnt out. And the last thing that we need as women who were given the responsibility to care for children is to begin to have resentment for our children or for their parent, their other parent, or for our community. We do not need that bitterness weighing us down. So you can do this, girl. You got this. It's going to be okay. God is with you. He is holding your hand. Maybe you haven't acknowledged him yet. Maybe you haven't given him the A-OK to come in and help you with this thing. But I promise, as soon as you make the decision to say, God, I need you. I want you. Help me. He will be there. I promise. I love you. I hope this video helped you. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.